how you doing, guys? It's
Hi,
Mr. and
guys.
Mrs. De Silva, and yeah, here we are. Just making a quick video. It literally only feels like a couple of days ago that we made the video announcing that we were gonna have a baby,
Yep.
and yeah, just like that, it's come so quickly, and here we are, a trio, the three of us,
Trio.
and yeah, we just want to basically kind of share a little bit about our experiences.
Yep. The birth.
You know, in hospital, the original plan.
Yes.
What was the original plan? Yeah, so you might as well share.
Yeah.
Like, what was your plan?
What was my plan?
Talk us through.
So basically, he was supposed to be here on the 20th of February, which is going to be tomorrow. Which is ironic because we're getting him registered tomorrow. So he was supposed to be here on the 20th. So for 7.5 months, nearly 8 months, he was head down. And I was kind of worried because I was thinking, why is he always head down when we go for a scan? So, you know, they said it was normal and so on and so forth. And I planned to do a home birth at home because I really wanted to be in my own environment, you know, with no kind of like interruptions or, you know, in the hospital was a bit different. So anyways, forwarding, he basically turned head up in breech position at 7.5, 8 months.
Yeah.
And then basically I was booked in for an ECV, which is basically an external turning him on the outside. I went for that, and that was very awkward and it wasn't painful, it was just very awkward because they tried to turn him. There was a doctor and a nurse. One was putting pressure down on me, trying to turn him. He didn't turn, so basically the ECV wasn't successful. So the next thing was to see a consultant who was gonna tell me, you know, what the outcome is. So we did that,
Yeah.
and basically they said, you know, he's in a breech position, his head's up, he's kind of sitting like a little frog, like with his legs crossed, and the doctor, the consultant thought, you know, he was going to be a very chunky baby, and that he was just really, comfortable in the position that he was, and that he just didn't want to move. He just wanted to be. He wanted to be in that position, and that's the position that he liked. And they reckoned his bum was lodged in my pelvis. So it was decided that we was gonna basically do a planned cesarean, which at the time I wasn't too sure if I wanted that. But then I thought, if he's not gonna move, to give birth to him in a breech position, which we was told the risk, like he could come out bum first, but then his head could get stuck. So I thought, oh, I don't want that. So we basically booked in for a planned cesarean, which I thought was going to be at 39 weeks, but it ended up being 38 weeks in a few days. So he was booked in to be born on the 8th of the 2nd, 2018. So yeah, and that's when he was born. Well, he was cut out of me, cesarean wise. Yeah, and I think you should talk about the surgery part, because obviously I was a bit more kind of not drugged up, but
Yeah.
you know, numb and stuff. So
well, for me, like when I found out that he was going to be coming out via C-section, I kind of felt it was a good thing. Reason for that is because I'm going to expose Misha a little bit. Her pain threshold is terrible. She does not know how to endure any ounce of pain. Physical pain, yeah. Like she can't, like she
can.
Like even when we're messing around or play fighting, like if I just touch her, like she will get all emotional and upset. Like she cannot take any physical pain. Yeah.
Okay.
So when they said this is the situation, I felt, you know what, it's good, because like that, Misha doesn't have to go through the pain of having to push this baby out.
Yeah.
You know, because knowing Misha, I personally don't think she would be able to do it. I could be wrong, but yeah.
As well as I was always praying that God, you know, I don't want there to be any pain.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And so on and so forth. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, in terms of the C-section, it is a major operation.
Yeah.
The people who are doing it, the hospital, they let you know that it is an actual operation, which was something obviously I knew what a cesarean was, but I didn't know how deep it actually was. Like it's an actual operation. So in that sense, there is pain. In that sense, obviously the healing process after, like Misha having to heal. You know, they've cut through half of her stomach, like all the way through. That is a bit painful after.
Yeah.
And yeah, so with the cesarean, like I think it just went really well. Like
Yeah.
it took them no longer.
11, I think it was 11 minutes or so.
Yeah, it took them no longer than, I'd say about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
10 or 11 minutes to take him out.
No, everything, all in total, it was 5 minutes to get him out,
No.
and the rest to stitch me up.
No, it took longer than
It
that.
took longer?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it took about 10 minutes to take him out,
Yeah.
8 or 10 minutes, and then it took about 15 minutes for them to,
To stitch me
obviously,
up and stuff.
because we were holding him and we were so kind of focused on him,
Yeah.
the time just went really quick.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
it took quite a bit of time for them to stitch, which they did tell us that would be the case.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it was a bit emotional in the sense that when I saw Misha in that state, where she's obviously on the operating table and half of her body, you know, from basically the chest down, she can't move. It's like for those minutes, for that time period, she was like paralyzed, or even after, innit, because the anesthetic, whatever that is,
Yeah, it took a few
that,
hours.
yeah, it
wear
takes
off.
a good 2 to 3, 4 hours
It
for
was 6 hours.
for her
Yeah.
to just start moving her feet, kind of thing. So seeing her in that state was a bit challenging for me, because it was like, wow, like I could see Misha in a state that I've never seen her before, you know, very vulnerable, she can't move, and then on top of that they're cutting through her stomach. So even though they put up that kind of
Sheet.
that sheet thing, so we couldn't see, one of the midwives, she was actually cool, like we became brethren, she was saying to me, look, like if you want to have a look, you can see in a reflection of the light. So where the light was, I could see the reflection of what they were doing. And yeah, like they were just inside her body, man. You know what I mean? Like pulling, tugging away, cutting. There's one bit where you could see the lady's arm right into her stomach, and I was like, wow, that's mad.
Oh,
So
gosh.
in that sense, it's a big thing. It's I personally think it's bigger than labour, pushing out a baby, in the sense that, you know, when you're pushing out a baby, you know, the worst you're gonna get is tears. Do you know what I mean? The woman will get tears down there, unless it's a really bad, I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, that's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
Whereas with Misha, you were C-section, you were looking at a full-blown operation, cut completely open. So yeah, I think it went really good. It was quick, it was smooth, there was no complications. He came out within 8 to 10 minutes.
She was really shocked though.
Yeah, he was shocked.
Shocked.
Obviously, I don't know.
You had to vacate the area.
Yeah,
She
I
didn't
got
want-
to cut the umbilical cord,
Yes, you did.
which was
You got to do skin to skin with
got
him,
to do skin to skin.
which was really
So
nice.
they because I was in the operating theatre, they had me wear like one of them blue things, the trousers on the top, and
The top was
straight.
too small.
It was too small because obviously I'm henching that. I'm joking. They basically just cut through my top, basically to put him inside, and I was just holding him. It was weird because he was so small, and then his face was just in my kind of
In
my
your
stomach area, chest, and then he was moving up to my beard, and I was like, "Can he breathe? What's going on?" So yeah, it was deep, and then obviously we had to stay in hospital for that day until the next day afternoon, which
Yeah.
we already knew was the procedure for a C-section. Obviously, they don't just release you straight away. It went really good. There was no complications, and that's the main thing.
Yeah. So that part was good.
Yeah.
Being parents.
Yeah. How's it been for you being a mother for these? Well, it's coming up to 2 weeks now. Isn't it?
Yeah, coming up to 2 weeks. So it's
How's it
11 days. It has been, oh gosh, overwhelming, but in a good sense of lots of joy, lots of tears, lots of emotions. It's basically like a roller coaster. It's up and down. Because you've got this baby who's just so vulnerable, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you want to do your best to look after them, keep them away from colds, flus, and everything, and just, you know, not keep them away from people, but it's just another level. It's another level of, I can't even explain it, love, fear, worry, which obviously we don't want to do, and be fearful and worry about him, but it's just another level of just like, is he okay? But it's been amazing. I really do love it, and Yeah, it is what it is. He sleeps well, he eats well, which is good.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
He's put on weight.
Mm.
Yeah, how's it been for you?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
You managed to sleep.
Yeah, I've managed to sleep. Obviously, because Misha is still in like recovery mode. Obviously, like she can't really work at the moment, so I'm up in my game with work.
Yeah.
Obviously, to provide to bring in an income for the family. So Misha's been great in that aspect because she knows that I need my sleep. Do you know what I mean? Because of the work I do as well, it's quite hands on. So it's been really good. Bless Misha that she's up some nights, you know, for ages, you know, having to feed, and it's yeah. I mean, sometimes like there's a bit of broken sleep, which is totally normal, I guess, because if I'm sleeping and he starts crying and then there's moving, there's shuffling about, obviously I'm gonna wake up. So there's like a slight broken pattern in the sleep. But in saying that, I've been getting good sleep compared to Misha, and we're just obviously trying to help each other out as much as possible. Do you know what I mean? Like when I come back from work, I try and assist and help as much as possible so that Misha can get her rest. But no, that's it really. Like Jesse's really well behaved. Like he hardly cries. Like he's just such a good boy.
Yeah,
Like
he's so calm.
you know what I'm saying?
He's so calm and so peaceful, which is
Yeah.
really like it's unusual when the midwives come around. They're like, "Does he cry?" And I'm like, "He doesn't really." So he's really calm. He's got a very
The
calm
most
nature.
he does is like he just lets you know that he wants a bit of comfort.
Yeah.
For example, like when we was going to do this video, obviously he was kind of resting, he was sleeping, but
I think when we leave the room.
when we leave the room, he kind of I guess he senses that we're not there, so he just kind of kicks up a bit of a fuss. Not any like loud noise, just he just lets you know that he wants your presence around him. So obviously we brought him in here. Now he's sleeping up until he gets to them third heaven sleeping levels, and then we'll put him back in his bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing. I thought like I was really worried that like, well not worried, but I was thinking, right, like, and like having a baby, was that going to restrict my life? Like I'm not going to be able to do the things I want to do anymore. But and to be honest, I was coming to them conclusions based on what people were saying to me, what parenthood is like. Oh, it's going to change, you can't do this anymore, all your priorities change and this and that. And so those things were going into my head. And even though your priorities change, of course your priorities do change, just like when we got married our priorities changed, because there's a new sense of responsibility. But we've still been doing what we're doing, do you know what I mean? Like we still have our time, kick back, watch a film, you know, do what we're doing. We're making videos now. I still get to go to the gym, still get to go to work, still get to see my friends, vice versa. So it's all good. It is what you make it, you know what I mean? And I think you said that when we got married.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you said that when we got married in one of our videos back then, that marriage is what you make it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
yeah, so and it's the same with this. It's all about what you make it.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know if you want to share something else.
No, that's it really. Just more, you know, that was our experience of our C-section.
Yeah.
And also I would just say, obviously, you know, we always have plans, but the plans could always change. Just be open for change, and also still believe in what you want in terms of, because I was adamant that I really wanted to have a home birth, and I was hoping that he would turn before I had to go into surgery, but he didn't. So.
But you know the thing about like the home birth, like if we look at that couple, there was there was a couple that we had met who had planned to do a home birth as well, and they done her home birth, but she basically got like 3rd-degree tears or something like that. She ended up really bad, and she needed to be rushed into hospital. So being in a hospital can be a good thing as well, because you're not far away from help if there's an emergency. Whereas when you're doing a home birth, if there's an emergency, you then have to wait. You have to wait for an ambulance. You have to be taken into the hospital. It's just all a bit long. But if it works, it works. So God knows, innit?
He does.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning in once again to our video. We hope you enjoy little snippets of our little man. And yeah, we'll see you guys again soon.
Yeah. Cool.